So, yeah, I think that's the message, but he needs to reinforce it. Good evening, and welcome to the Lakeville Area's Board of Education meeting. I'm Judy Kelleher, Board of Education Chair, and our meeting is called to order, and I invite the audience members to please join us in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, and the following board directors are in attendance. We have Kathy Lewis, Cinta Schmitz, Terry Lind, Dave Anderson, and Robin Richards. And also in attendance, we have Superintendent Michael Bauman and our executive cabinet members, Dr. Emily McDonald, Tony Maceris, Renee Olette, Bill Holmgren, and Stephanie Cass. So with that, we will move to good news. Superintendent.
Thank you, Madam Chair. We'll start with activities achievements. First of all, congratulations to Lakeville South High School First Tech Challenge team, the Hacker Cats. They took second place in the First Tech Challenge State Championship that was held February 11th and 12th at Washington Technology Magnet School. The First Tech Challenge is part of an international robotics program that includes more than 6,400 teams worldwide. Teams of students collaborate to design, build, and program a robot that competes on a 12-foot by 12-foot field. Learn more about the Hacker Cats and their achievements at isd194.org/news. Way to go, Hacker Cats. Congratulations to the following students that competed in the Class AA State Speech Tournament last weekend at Eastview High School. From Lakeville North, Grace Bowen, Aiden Claiborne, Laura Harrison, Emily Nyberg, and Shania Van Leeuwen. From Lakeville South, Liz Curtin. Congratulations on your fine accomplishments. Some staff achievements. Want to offer congratulations to Alicia Arlinson. She's one of Lakeville Area Schools' instructional data support specialist coaches. She was selected to attend the United States Naval Academy STEM educator training this July in Annapolis, Maryland. The United States Naval Academy's STEM training program offers middle and high school educators the opportunity to investigate topics using hands-on, project-based learning methodology. Learn more about this unique STEM opportunity at isd194.org/news. Staff appreciation resolutions. We have several this evening. Tonight, the Board of Education will consider 3 staff appreciation resolutions for the following groups: teachers, student nutrition staff, and our school nurses. Lakeville Area Schools recognizes May 2nd through the 6th of this year as Teacher Appreciation Week. Our teachers provide essential education to more than 11,500 Lakeville area students and provide their families with updates on their child's academic performance. Lakeville Area Schools also recognizes May 2nd through the 6th of this year as Student Nutrition Staff Appreciation Week. Our student nutrition staff are committed to supporting our students by providing nutritious meals every day. Lakeville Area Schools also recognizes the week of May 9th through the 13th of this year as School Nurse Appreciation Week. Our school nurses provide care and support for more than our 11,500 Lakeville area students, and they ensure the health and safety of each and every student. Thank you to our teachers, thank you to our student nutrition staff, and thank you to our school nurses for your dedication, for all that you do, and your commitment to our students and to this school district community. Donation summary of acceptance of gift donations resolution. A total of $15,012 in donations of cash and/or materials were donated throughout all district locations from the following donors: the Black Bowed Giving Fund, Your Cause, Rebecca L. Schultz, Century Middle School Parent Teacher Organization, Pentec Industrial Coatings, Dave and Kathy Singstock, Jared and Cheryl Heisler, Kurt and Darcy Rice, or Reese, and Jake Flynn Memorial Fund. Details of donations can be found in the board packet under the consent agenda. That is good news and donations, Madam Chair.
All right, and thank you, Superintendent. So now we move to public comment, and this is so individuals can address the Board of Education with matters that the Board of Education can impact with your concerns and your issues. It's not intended for use as a platform for addressing the audience. And so we have time set aside now for members to address the board. You will have, each member will have 3 minutes, and I will let you know when you have 30 seconds left so that you can finish your comments in the allotted time. So with that, who do we have for public comment this evening?
Hi, I just wanted to address today what was actually brought to our attention. I believe it was last Friday that the Lakeville principal of Kenwood School decided to promote the LGBTQ protests for 10-year-olds. And so this is an article that was in alphanews.org.
Can I please ask, what's your concern? We don't need you reading
okay.
social media.
Sure.
Thank you.
So my concern is that this is political. These political views should not be pushed in schools, that we're talking about sexual genders for children. These are middle schoolers. They're 10 to 14-year-olds. And we need to be focusing on academics, reading, math, and stuff like that, and not be pushing this or encouraging stuff like this. I'm not saying that I'm against, that's a different story. It's that this does not belong in the schools. Our children should not be being pushed or fed this, or it should not be encouraged. And it is a political agenda that has negative roots to it.
Thank you. Appreciate that. And who do we have next?
All right, just gonna grab I'm just not gonna look over in this way because it's about somebody here. So, Renee. So what can I say about Renee? Well, I know that she likes pineapples. I'm trying not to cry. I know that she's a problem solver, a fighter for our kids. During COVID, I was very frustrated, and I sent many messages to our district. Some were very nice, some were very stern, and some were just rude. From me, I sent them, I know that, because I wanted what was best for my kids, and no one was listening. Renee actually reached out to me and heard me and listened to what I was saying. She de-escalated a lot of my frustrations, and she showed me, thank you, what they were doing, explained it, met with me, always answered my questions. When my 6-year-old twins were having a terrible time in kindergarten, I would look out the window and the direction of the school to see if it was on fire when I got a phone call. And I'm not kidding, she knows this. She stepped in, she got people involved, parts of teams that I didn't even know existed, got my son and daughter the help they needed. She stepped out of the box, found solutions that the district had never done before so my twins could have a good experience. For my 4th grader, who was also wreaking havoc on the schools, she rolled up her sleeves and dove in, which, let's be honest, that one was pretty rough. For all of you that know me, you know how rough that one was. But she involved herself, and she did it with district staff. She didn't have to, but she did it. And I know her job was tough. Her job was brutal. Can you imagine taking in all the emails and calls from all of the community when we were not at our best? She handled it always smiling, and even still, she made time for my kids. She was always willing to talk through the problems. She met directly with the elementary school staff and found a solution that as best we could. Sometimes she told me things I didn't want to hear. Other times we agreed, but it was always from a good place. It was always about the kids and hearing my concerns. It was about being honest when it was not always easy, standing up for what was right, even when she was sometimes the only one. But that's what a good person does. She solves problems one way or another, telling and hearing the truth, taking action when it's not easy to do. I keep pretending she's not retiring. Praying that she could or maybe could or would stay another year. She's irreplaceable. I made a friendship with her in a time that I was not looking for that. I just wanted normal again.
You have 30 seconds left.
One thing is certain, I could not have navigated the nightmare my kids were going through during COVID without her. I really need everyone to understand that. My twins are doing great. My 10-year-old is doing great. My 2 wheelchair kids are doing great. She matched them up with the great special education teachers. So thank you, Renee, from the bottom of my heart.
Thank you. Thank you.
Bob Erickson.
Good evening, Chair Kelleher, members of the board, Superintendent Bauman, and Executive Cabinet. I'm here tonight to recognize Renee Willett. I believe this is going to be her last meeting with the school board, and just wanted to acknowledge her as our Executive Director of Student Services. Renee has been responsible for all aspects of student services, including English as a second language, special education. I want to emphasize special education, federal title programs, Section 504 compliance, health services, counseling services, and social emotional well-being. She manages a budget of over $20 million and supports more than 300 employees, serving 1,700 students and their families. She's passionate about improving outcomes for marginalized student populations and increasing social and emotional well-being of all children. She's skilled in social emotional learning, negotiation, conflict resolution, public speaking, professional development, and program evaluation. Renee has been a champion for learners in finding the gifts in every child, Renee, I want to express my heartfelt appreciation for your extraordinary contributions to the Lakeville Area Public Schools special education community. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Jen and Jaden Christensen.
Well, that's going to be a pretty hard speech to go after. I'm Jen Christensen.
Are you talking to the microphone?
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I'm Jen Christensen. I'm a parent, and this is my lovely daughter, Jaden, student, 8th grade. I have 2 others that are in special education as well, that are 11th graders at Lakeville North, and this lovely lady, where do you go to school?
CMS.
8th grade.
8th grade.
Yep. We've been in the district and all my kids since she was in preschool. And we could have not done it without that wonderful woman over there. There's been, I mean, you name it, she's done it. Between that wonderful woman and that wonderful man right up there, Mr. Anderson, and this is before COVID, this is before Dave was on the board. We were pilot program family from the beginning, from, you know, I can attest to everything everybody said. I don't even know what to say. We are having to move out of the district, and that's probably the hardest thing, but we would have never got as far as we did without that wonderful woman. My kids would have never got as far as they have. My daughter can sign. She has Down syndrome. My son would probably be in jail and be in, you know, and he's got all A's and B's and is going the college route now. And it's all because of that woman. And obviously to educate, but it's all because of the programs that she is willing to do. And so you guys are wonderful. I thank you guys for everything that you've done for our family. And it's really sad to see you go, Renee.
We really appreciate you.
Yeah, we really do.
30 seconds left.
So Thank you for everything that you've done for our family. From the bottom of my heart. And for the inclusion that you brought just to the district, but just to our community. And Dave, thank you as well. You've done a lot for special ed and just our community. I appreciate it.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Kumi Sun.
My actual name now, Kumaria San, but Kumi, I go by Kumi. Nice to see you all. Thank you for welcoming us here before you, and hi everyone. I just had a couple of things to talk about. First of all, I don't know Renee, but congratulations. You have a special spot in my heart, especially when I heard that you were an ESL teacher. It's my fourth language, right? So you have a special spot in my heart already. I just wanted to bring to your attention, you probably have all heard the phrase, hurt people, said a wise man. In the last 2 years, I've had the honor of hosting students from Lakeville North, Lakeville South in my home many, many times. And they've all shared their hearts with me. And as a result, my eyes have been open to some of the things that have been happening. Of course, our society, there's many divisions, and there's many divisions in our schools. And so there's been special observances for many groups held to create a welcoming and safety for different groups of race, culture, lifestyle, sexual orientation, and so on and so on. But we all know every child should be given kindness, no matter race, no matter culture, no matter lifestyle, and no matter sexual orientation. And again, the list can go on and on. While these events are intentioned, the results I'm hearing from students are the opposite is occurring and creating bigger divisions and barriers. Is this unity in our schools? How about in our community? While I don't have all the answers, and I'd love to meet with teachers, parents, and students and listen and see if there are opportunities to create better or different solutions, I stand before you to ask you if there's any opportunities in the Lakeville district that parents who are concerned can get together and discuss these important issues. And I'd love for some positive actions from you. And that's all. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Emily Britt.
Good evening. I'm here to speak about Renee Willett and what the school district is losing. Oh, yes, Renee. And I wrote my words down because I knew I wouldn't be able to talk if I didn't. Hi, my name is Emily Bright, and I am a parent of 2 students who attend Lakeville schools. They both live with autism, and they both receive special education services. It seems sometimes that the right people suddenly appear in your life, right at the exact time that you need them, and they help you, inspire you, nudge you, and/or educate you in the way you didn't know you needed. It's almost like magic or divine intervention, if you will. I can easily say that Renee has been this person for me, for not only me, but more importantly, for my girls as well. What she has done by helping, inspiring, nudging, and educating me in the all too often scary, confusing, and frustrating world of special ed, I have tried to use in helping my girls, who were both born with extra challenges that most of us do not have to face. I also know that Renee has done this for her teachers and support staff as well. I first met Renee when she was the director of special education, and my oldest, Laurel, was in the 1st grade. A neighbor of mine told me about SEAC, the Special Ed Education Advisory Council, and she encouraged me to attend a meeting and said that it would be really helpful with my questions about special education. Honestly, I didn't want to go because I felt so insignificant and I didn't know what to expect. That very first meeting, I was hooked, and I remember being very impressed that the director actually cared enough to be so accessible to parents. That, in a nutshell, is why Renee is so valuable and has been such an asset to this district and our special education community. The list of Renee's amazing qualities is too long, and I'm going to be yanked off the mic for time if I attempt to list them all. So I'll choose the one I find to be the most awe-inspiring. I think of people as generally being in one of 3 categories: no, maybe, and yes. No people seem to automatically say, no, we can't do that, and need to be convinced of any new idea. Maybe people, of who I am most definitely a member of, say, maybe, let me think about it at first as I need more information. Yes people, well, say, yes, let's do it. Renee is without a doubt a yes person, who then figures out how to do it. And that is all too often rare. I saw her do this so many times at SEAC meetings, and a few of these ideas were even mine. The rare times she did say no, she was supportive and kind and had solid, insurmountable
Have 30
reasons
seconds
why.
left.
Thanks. As a special ed parent, you get used to hearing no, maybe, or other not so positive words, that to hear someone of her caliber say yes can be truly stunning. I will miss you, Renee, and the fierce force that you are for our vulnerable kids. You are irreplaceable and will not be forgotten. My first grader is now a senior, about to graduate, and I am forever thankful that we had you in our lives at such a crucial time during an all too often tough journey.
Thank you.
I love you, Renee.
Thank you.
Kim Baker.
First of all, I want to thank the board for giving some parents an opportunity to talk about a staff member. I know that's usually not board protocol, but I feel like this occasion is pretty significant for us. My concern, board, and always will be special education and just what's going on, not only in our school district, but in our state with special ed. I've had the pleasure of working with Renee as a parent through the Special Education Advisory Council and as a parent liaison. And in fact, it was Emily that drugged me to a SEAC meeting and got me involved. This year, Renee was my mentor as I completed my special education director's license, and it truly was an honor to work under someone like her. One thing I have learned through working in special education in Minnesota is that the name Renee Ouellette is synonymous with special education. I serve on several boards in the state, the Special Ed Advisory Panel, the Children's Subcommittee on Mental Health, and if I even mention that I am from Lakeville, the first thing out of everyone's mouth is, do you know Renee? She is more than an administrator and a mentor. She's a friend. She has supported me and picked me up on more than one occasion when I called her in tears, and is one of my biggest cheerleaders through any success that I've had. It was Renee who emphasized the importance of a strong special education advisory council and worked with the parents and staff in our district to make our council in Lakeville one of the best and most active in the state. And I know that because I'm on the state panel. It was also Renee that saw the value in a parent liaison program for special education and worked with parents to make it a reality, which is a program completely unique, again, to Lakeville schools because of Renee. Renee is a problem solver and is not afraid to think outside the box to figure out how to best support a student. She is a calm presence at any meeting and handles every situation with the utmost professionalism. In my conversations with staff members, I frequently hear how supportive she is and how she continually advocates for what is best for her staff. Her work reaches far beyond the boundaries of Lakeville schools and is a testament to her dedication and commitment to serving students and families in special education. The title of her position may pass to someone else, but the mark she has left on our hearts through the work that she did and her many accomplishments will always remain. I will continue that fight, Renee. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, and seeing that we have no other public comment, we will move into board communications. And so I think first and foremost, thank you all for the praise for Renee. So it is not our practice to talk about individuals, but we will always listen and hear about praise to the great work that they do. And and everything that was said about Renee could not have been said more wonderfully. And I know Director Lewis, Director Lind, myself, as well as Director Anderson have all been fortunate enough to serve on the advisory committee, Special Ed Advisory Committee, and we've seen her in action. And I've been on the board for 26 years and have seen her grow through that role. So we are very, very fortunate, and statewide, Dakota County and so forth, extremely fortunate to have her here. Another piece I would just like to address in the public comment from the Board of Communication perspective is the opportunities for parents and students with interaction to address and talk about or issues and concerns more in an exchange and develop solutions and action items. It was the last couple of study sessions that we've had. We've been talking about we've been doing team development and talking about our strategic roadmap that's on the agenda for tonight. And part of that discussion is around the board and community engagement. And in our last study session, we talked about how can we put practices into place where there's more direct engagement with the board and board members about things that are within our purview with policy setting and governance. And so we're going to continue to have that dialogue. We've got some action items that we're taking up away from the last meeting that we're bringing to our next meeting, and we're going to continue to have dialogue around some action items of what we can do for more community engagement, visibility out in our community, one-on-one at community events, involvement through our parent advisory councils and groups that we have, and just overall conversations on structures that we can put into place to have more interaction rather than public comment. Public comment isn't truly board engagement. It's a time for you to share a concern that you have with us. And in 90% of the cases, the situations are really more administrative or just need guidance. So it's not really a community action time. So we're working on developing more community engagement, and there will be more to come. And then as far as the first public comment that was given today around the communication that went out from one of our principals, just to let the community know that that was brought to the board and to the superintendent's attention. It does not align with the policy that we have in place, and our superintendent has been addressing it. And so I think that is all and covers our board communication or our board comments for today. And then with that, then we move to agenda additions. Are there any agenda additions? No? Then approval of the agenda.
So moved.
We have an approval by Lind, or a motion by Lind, and is there a second?
Second.
Second by Schmitz. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. And next, the consent agenda. Does anybody wish to remove anything from the consent agenda for further discussion?
I'd like to remove B for just a comment.
Well, if you just want to make a comment, not discussion.
Is that okay?
Yep. So with that, then, is there a motion for the consent agenda?
So moved.
All right, we have a motion by Lewis. Is there a second?
I'll second.
And we have a second by Anderson. Any comments?
I just want to say to Renee, it was an honor and a privilege serving with you for these many years, and you'll be good luck in your future, and you'll be a friend forever. Thank you, Madam Chair.
All right. Any other comments? All right, so we have a motion by Lewis and a second by Anderson. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. And we move to recommended actions, and the first is the approval of our strategic roadmap. Dr. McDonald.
Good evening, Chair Kelleher, members of the board, Superintendent Bauman, and Executive Cabinet. Great to be here tonight. I am filling some big shoes of Ray Queener from TeamWorks, who was unable to be here with us this evening. And so I'm here to provide you with an update around the strategic plan work and seek approval around our strategic roadmap that you all have been working on over the past several months. So first of all, as you know, and for our community, some of the work of the board has really been to focus energy around our new strategic plan and specifically around our new strategic roadmap. And as you can see, the board has come up with 4 areas that we want to focus on as a district that sort of tell the story of who we are and what we're after. So the first one is our mission, and that is our core purpose. And you can see that there's just a slight change from our current mission, but essentially essentially the intent is the same. We want academic, social, civic, and personal readiness for every student for whatever comes next in their future. The second is our vision, and this is really what we intend to create. This is the work that we do every day on behalf of students in our community. We want to have a safe and respectful, engaging, rigorous, and collaborative learning environment. And we want to do that so that everyone can feel valued, everyone can succeed in our system. The third thing that you all came up with were our core values, and you can see them there. And we students first, so that's first on the list. Excellence, collaboration, integrity, and responsibility. And this is what drives our work as a district and as a Board of Education as we make decisions and work within the scope of our jobs. And then finally, the focus of our continuous improvement efforts. So there was a lot of conversations, and again, led by Teamworks, working with all of you to determine where do we need to focus our energy to ensure that we are improving as a district. And you can see the teaching and learning practices are there, systems of support and alignment are there, engaging our families. You talked about that a little bit earlier, Chair Kelleher. Relationships matter, awareness, communication, making our families and community feel like they not only know what's going on in our system, but also have an opportunity to share their thoughts and viewpoints, which is essential to our success. We also want to focus on professional practices and skills of our staff. That high-quality workforce piece that we saw in our previous strategic plan. And then finally, increasing effectiveness and efficiency. So this is not only about fiscal responsibility, but it's also about figuring out how we can work better together to get more quickly to the outcomes that we seek as a district and as a system. So again, this really was, you've seen this before. The community perhaps has seen this before as we have been working through that process in our work sessions. The intent of the strategic roadmap, which is really what we're asking for action on this evening, is intended to be a 30,000-foot view of our district and what we want. However, this work is never done in isolation, right? We had an extensive feedback and engagement process to get to this, and I'll talk about that in just a minute. So one of the core pieces of the strategic planning work, and this is for the benefit of our community, is really seeking input on what's referred to as the desired daily experiences. So when we think about the students in our system, what types of experience do we desire for them as parents, as staff, and as students? What do we want for ourselves as students when we come into the Lakeville system? Again, very extensive process. There was surveys, there were focus groups, there was engagement efforts to try to get as much feedback as we could throughout this process to make sure that we were truly honoring the voices of our staff, students, and families. And I'll walk you through those just briefly. There's a lot of information on the slides, so I'll just give you sort of the over the fence in those three areas. So when we analyzed all of the data, and when I say we, I mean Ray Queener, analyzed all the data, basically what he did was he provided us with overarching areas. So what were the themes that he heard from students, staff, and families? And then what are some specifics underneath those bullets that we could take action on as an administration and as a school board? So students, really there were three themes that came out of the feedback from our students. The first one is that it's a safe place. They feel like they can come without fear of being judged, bullied, or harassed. And you can see the bullets underneath that provides a little bit more detail about what that means from a student perspective. The second one is they want an environment where they can really explore their interests, engage socially, and have their basic needs supported. And again, we're talking about opportunity. We're talking about everything from basic needs for food options to making sure that they are prepared for their future and they have opportunities to engage in courses that are flexible and then that are of high interest and of passion for the students. And then finally, I spoke to it a little bit in the previous one, but their classes are relevant and engaging. It was really interesting to see the data from the students, so we were able, actually, when we went through the analysis process, able to see all of the comments. And it's very interesting, the students really spoke to, I want to be able to engage in something that I'm passionate about. I want to engage in sort of, courses or units of study that will prepare me for whatever it is that I want to do after I leave school. It's so encouraging to hear because these are things that we talk about all the time, right? And the students feel it too. So there are a number of bullets under each one of those that we are currently working on to develop a sort of an action plan around, which you will see once that is completed. We'll bring that back to the boards. So how will we address those? There are 4 areas for families. The first one was really around regular and timely communication. And that was not only at a district level, but also from a teacher standpoint. The bullets underneath talk about making sure it's in a language I can understand, making sure that I feel like I have the tools and resources and I know where to go to get information. The second one is around innovations in teaching and learning. This really aligns actually with what the students told us. They want to see us providing opportunities for kids in areas that they're interested in and in flexible ways. The third one is all students feel welcome, included, represented, and valued. Again, completely reflective of what we heard from our students. And again, not a surprise, but it's really good to see that that is something that our families value and our students value in their environment. This is their community, right? Our schools. And then finally, it's about time and support. They want to be able to form healthy relationships. They want to be able to not only engage with peers, but also with others in the school building and in a sort of a safe and appropriate way. So that's what our families want from us. And then finally, our staff. Our staff really talked a lot about systems in terms of wanting to work interdependently, making sure that we are all pointed in the same direction, that we have a level of trust, clarity, and transparency. So what are we doing? Where are we going? How do we get there? How will you support me to get there, to help our students get there, right? So that one is a really important one for us as we think, again, about sort of how we do our work and how we're communicating around our strategic plan. The second one was really around support. Resources, equitably distributed across the district. For those of you that have been here a long time or know our history, understand that we had a significant sort of dark period of 10 years of cuts where resources were very scarce. Teachers didn't feel like they had what they needed in order to teach effectively. And so this continues to be a theme. Although we are in a much better, thanks to our community and the work of the board, we are certainly in a much better space now than we were then. And we still have some work to do to make sure that we feel like that our classrooms and teachers are resourced appropriately. The fourth bullet I want to point out under that talks about robust system of interventions, social, emotional, behavior, and academic needs. We are already taking some strides in that area, focusing on MTSS and working to get not only a person, but also a detailed plan around that to be able to ensure that when students come in, they get what they need when they need it, regardless of what that is, and that there is a sort of a transparent plan for that. So more to come on that. That's not easy work and it's not quick work, but again, when we bring our action plan forward, you'll see that. And then lastly, they want to be interconnected. They want a professional community. They want to have a sense of belonging, and they want to be able to feel like they are making contributions and that they also have their own opportunities for professional development. So 3 really, really powerful things from our staff related to the strategic plan. So that's sort of the over the fence. I will finish with our district theory of action. And I won't read that to you, but essentially, this is basically our theory of action says if we do these things, then we will actually reach partnership with families and communities to ensure success for every student. So that's what we're going after. This is what we believe we need to do to get there. And then the next level is to really develop the plans on what does that look like? So what does that actually mean? We're also collaboratively working on a classroom theory of action as well, so you'll see that a little bit down the road as we get farther in the process. So I'll talk a little bit about next steps. Now that we have this work, I've actually had the pleasure of working with the leaders of all of our departments to talk about our desired daily experiences and what contributions each department can or will make in order for us to progress forward in each of those areas. So, for example, you saw stuff there about communication that family wants, that staff wants. There's stuff around teaching and learning, people that would be the responsibility of my team. We have a collaborative effort with Renee's Student Services team around MTSS and ensuring we have supports for students, et cetera. So those things are actively in process. Our plan is to flush that out a little bit further and then bring that forward to the board so you sort of know how we are responding to what we're hearing from our students, staff, and families. So more to come on that. Again, that's it's deep work. And when you're planning for, 800 staff members or 1,500 in some cases staff members, you really want to take some time, make sure that we are following implementation science so that what we do will really make a difference and really help us achieve our goals in the district. And I know with the people that we have around us, that is absolutely possible, and I will say probable. So we're excited to dig into that work a little further and see where we go next. So that's it for me this evening. Unless you have any questions, comments, or concerns, I'm happy to stand for them.
Terrific recap on hours, months, and maybe a year or so of work. So thank you very much. So is there a motion to accept the approval of the strategic roadmap?
So moved.
And is there a second?
I'll second.
We have a motion by Lind and a second by Anderson. Any further comments?
I have one comment. Even though I really thoroughly enjoyed working with Ray and under his leadership, it was really an honor to have Emily presenting this from the perspective of, and being able to see just the history, where we are, and the little snippets of where we're going. So thank you, Emily.
Thank you.
Yes. Yep. All right. With that, we have a motion by Lynn and a second by Anderson. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you.
Thank you.
And you are here for the resolution, our Teacher Appreciation Week as well.
I am. Thank you so much for the honor of being able to read this resolution tonight. As a person who started as a teacher in this district, it's an honor. So this is a resolution declaring May 2nd through 6th, 2022 as Teacher Appreciation Week. Lakeville Area Schools recognizes May 2 through 6, 2022 as Teacher Appreciation Week. Our teachers provide essential education to more than 11,500 Lakeville area students and provide their families with updates on their child's academic performance. This week, we celebrate our thanks and gratitude for these essential staff. Whereas May 2nd through 6th has been designated nationally as Teacher Appreciation Week to celebrate the pivotal role teachers play in millions of children's lives every day by inspiring learning and discovery. Whereas Lakeville Area Schools has 808 teachers, including 162 high school teachers, 132 middle school teachers, 289 elementary school teachers, 6 early childhood teachers, 172 special education teachers, 5 adult basic education teachers, and 42 teachers at the district's other learning facilities. Whereas Lakeville Area Schools teachers help students learn thoroughly by planning and preparing lessons, creating positive, caring, and motivating classrooms, and providing the high-quality education the Lakeville area community has come to expect every day. Whereas over the past 2+ years, Lakeville Area Schools teachers have found new and innovative ways to teach our students and keep them safe and healthy amidst a COVID-19 pandemic. Whereas Lakeville Area Schools teachers establish and maintain positive relationships with students, parents, staff, and ensure all students feel welcome and safe. Therefore, let it be resolved, the Board of Education hereby extends its appreciation to all Lakeville Area School teachers for supporting the education and success of our students and declares May 2nd through 6th, 2022 to be Teacher Appreciation Week in Lakeville Area Schools.
Thank you. Is there a motion?
I'll move.
We have a motion by Director Schmitz. Second?
I'll second.
Second by Director Lewis. Any comments? Well, we appreciate everything that they have done, and reading those numbers, it's just incredible. And so with that, we have a motion by Director Schmitz and a second by Director Lewis. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you.
You're welcome. And Bill, you're doing the resolution for Nutrition Staff Appreciation Week. Good evening.
Good evening, Madam Chair, members of the school board, Superintendent Bauman. I'm here to bring a resolution forward for Student Nutrition Staff Appreciation Week, which Superintendent Bauman had mentioned earlier in the meeting, but I'll just go right to the resolution. Resolution declaring May 2 through 6, 2022 as Student Nutrition Staff Appreciation Week. Lakeville Area Schools recognizes May 2nd through the 6th, 2022 as Student Nutrition Staff Appreciation Week. Our student nutrition staff are committed to supporting our children by providing nutritious and tasty meals to our more than 11,500 Lakeville area students. This week, we celebrate our thanks and gratitude for these essential individuals. Whereas, the School Nutrition Association declares May 6, 2022 as School Lunch Hero Day to highlight the difference school nutrition staff make for every child who comes through our cafeterias. Whereas Lakeville area schools has 24 full-time, 60 part-time, and 16 substitute student nutrition employees, as well as student nutrition supervisor, student nutrition support specialist, and student nutrition coordinator. Whereas Lakeville area school nutrition staff serve approximately 1,825,000 meals every year, averaging 10,850 meals each school day. Whereas student nutrition staff are essential workers dedicated to preparing and distributing healthy and delicious meals directly to our students, all while providing a warm and welcoming environment. Whereas student nutrition staff strive to serve fresh, locally sourced foods, whereas student nutrition staff keep parents and students informed of all menus, allergens, nutrition, and food descriptions by updating the online menu and mobile app. Whereas over the past 2 years, Lakeville area school nutrition student staff have been able to and willing to quickly adapt to support the nutritional needs of our community throughout the COVID-19 pandemic. Therefore, let it be resolved, the Board of Education hereby extends its appreciation to all Lakeville area schools student nutrition staff by supporting the nutritional needs and success of our students, and declares May 2nd through the 6th, 2022 to be Student Nutrition Staff Appreciation Week in Lakeville area schools.
All right, thank you. Is there a motion?
So moved.
We have a motion by Richards, a second,
Second.
and a second by Lynn. Any further comments or discussion?
That's a lot of meals.
I know, that's what I was just thinking. 24 full-time and 60 part-time, over 10,000 meals a day.
A lot of meals.
Unbelievable. So,
Wow.
all right. Well, with that, we thank them for what they do for our students and our families. And we have a motion by Director Richards and a second by Lind. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. And we have the one and only Renee doing the resolution for our Nurse Appreciation Week.
Madam Chair, members of the board, Superintendent Bauman, it's my pleasure this evening to come forward with a resolution declaring May 9th through the 13th, 2022 as School Nurse Appreciation Week. I can just quickly go off script and say that this group of individuals have had a couple of very difficult years, and they have worked tirelessly beyond their scope of work that they ever probably imagined, and also countless hours above and beyond their contract. So it's my pleasure to say that Lakeville Area Schools recognizes May 9th through the 13th, 2022 as School Nurse Appreciation Week. Our school nurses provide care and support for our more than 11,500 Lakeville area students. This week, we celebrate our thanks and gratitude for these essential staff. Whereas the American Nurses Association declares May 9th through the 13th as National Nurses Week, with May 11th specifically dedicated to school nurses. Whereas Lakeville Area Schools currently has 5 licensed school nurses, 18 building nurses, and 4 related service nurses. Whereas Lakeville Area Schools nurses provide comfort and care for students and staff, help maintain and administer student medications, provide families with immunization information, assist with health screenings, reach out to parents and guardians about health concerns, and develop individualized health and emergency care plans. Whereas Lakeville Area Schools nurses work with children, parents, staff, and medical professionals to control and prevent disease. Whereas Lakeville Area School nurses work to ensure the health and safety of each and every student. Whereas over the past 2 years, Lakeville Area Schools nurses have played a key role in guiding the district's health response to the COVID-19 pandemic to keep students, staff, and the community healthy and safe. Therefore, let it be resolved, the Board of Education hereby extends its appreciation to all Lakeville Area Schools nurses for supporting the health and education of our students and declares May 9th through 13th, 2022 to be School Nurse Appreciation Week in Lakeville Area Schools.
All right. Is there a motion?
So moved. Oh, go ahead.
Well, motion by
I'll
Director
second.
Lewis and a second by Director Schmitz.
I got shut out there.
You did.
Yes.
You're third.
You
That's
came
okay.
in third.
That's okay. I'll give you one.
Yeah. We'll give you. All right. Is there any discussion or comment?
I only want to comment that I support absolutely everything that you have said as far as the work and everything that they did over this past 2 years have been absolutely incredible. And the reason that this week is generally chosen is because May 12th is the birthday of Florence Nightingale. So that's why it always falls at this time.
Learned something
Nurse
new today.
Lewis
Yes.
teaches us something even in her retirement.
You know, Kathy, I have to disagree with you though, because Renee said comfort and care for students and staff. I think that you need to add in
Parents.
I have gotten a lot of support this year from the
I
nurse.
think you make a good point there. Absolutely.
All right, so we have a motion by Director Lewis and a second by Director Schmitz. All those in favor say aye.
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 Opposed? Motion carries.
And Director Lewis, thank you for your service during COVID as well.
Thank you for yours.
Thank you for yours.
As our COVID lead.
Yes.
All right, Superintendent's report.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Couple of items just to share. Dr. Van Zyl was here. We conducted a transition meeting number 2, and be many more to go, but just wanted to share with the board that we've been doing that. Last night I attended the Lions Club meeting. I got invited there to speak and had the opportunity to thank them for the many donations and support that they have offered to Lakeville Area Schools for years and years. Just some highlights: Ready, Set, Achieve. Huge contribution there. Scholarships in our high schools, both Lakeville South and North and ALC. And then they did also participate with a large donation for the pool, the new pool. We will be, what do you call it? Christening? Do you christen them?
Dedicating.
Dedicating.
Maybe champagne, that's good.
It's a Navy thing. There's water and a boat, and they take a champagne or something. I don't
I'm
know.
coming then.
We could start a new deal. We don't.
No
need-
champagne. That is verboten.
Throw the superintendent in the pool. You know?
Oh, yeah, that'd
All
be
right.
great.
Well, it's not going to be the first pool I've ever been in. And then we also another highlight. I think it was Thursday. Rotary did their recognition for STRIVE, and STRIVE is an acronym that stands for Students Taking a Renewed Interest in the Value of Education. And so these are high school students who get paired up with a mentor that's part of the Rotary Club, and they are reignited or have been reignited by their volunteer and their desire to take on the challenge that education presents and build a rapport with a mentor for future opportunities that they may be seeking. And I think couple of board members here. I know, Judy, you're a Strive mentor, and I know there's some other, you're not a Strive mentor. Okay, anyway, it's a wonderful.
Lions in the Rotary right
Yeah,
there.
that's true. Yeah, yeah. Director Lynn is Lions. Yeah. So anyway, I just wanted to share that they did their recognition. It's an annual event, and I from my memory, 5 years going to Rotary, I want to say that was the biggest group we've had.
It was.
And that's a great thing to be able to do that. So I just wanted to share that. That's my report. Thank you.
All right. Well, thank you. So with that, we are at the end of the meeting. We thank you for joining our meeting and for being engaged. And the meetings can be viewed live on cable channel 188, live streamed on the district website, and watched on demand via the recorded meetings posted on the district website. And our May 10th meeting is canceled. So our next regularly scheduled meeting is May 24th. How many motions for adjournment do I have?
So moved.
Okay, Robin got in first, and I think you got in second. All right, so we have a motion by Director Schmitz. Apparently Anderson.
Richards, not Schmidt.
I mean, Richards, yes. Sorry, I'm looking at Anderson. He wants to say something.
No, I'm ready to say.
Okay,
I'm ready to
so we
say
have a
no.
motion by Richards and a second by Lind. All those in favor say aye.
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 Don't do it.
No.
Opposed. All right, motion carries. We are adjourned. Good evening, everyone.